Welcome back. My name is Billy with Coach Dooley's List. And once again, if you're enjoying these coaching videos, please like and subscribe to the YouTube page. It would definitely help us out. I am today here at Winder-Barrow High School with Coach Brian Smith, the head baseball coach. And Coach, I appreciate you taking the time to meet with us today.
Yes, sir. I think it's a great idea to share, among coaches and just be able to learn.
Well, I appreciate you following along, and I appreciate you doing this. So jump right into it. Just tell everybody a little bit about your coaching journey.
So I finished up playing at Kennesaw State under Coach Sansing and Bob Ronan in 1993, and knew I wanted to coach. And Coach Sansing immediately set me up for being assistant coach at DeKalb Junior College. And DeKalb Junior College was led by Doug Casey, who, when he retired, was the 12th winningest coach in junior college history. And his right-hand man at the time was Tom Cantrell, who went on to he took over the DeKalb's program when Coach Casey retired, and then went on to spend almost 30 years, I think, at North Georgia, and has a stellar resume. So I learned from those two guys. That was my 1 year of being an assistant. And that was my only really time of being an assistant. And I got the head job, very luckily, in my hometown in Augusta at Butler High School. And I only had that 1 year of being an assistant, but I've got to give credit and go back and just recognize all the great baseball people that I played under. And so Coach Sansing is a Hall of Famer. Bob Roman was a great assistant coach. My high school coach in Augusta has over 1,000 wins, just recently retired from Westside High School, Gerald Barnes. And then I go all the way back to my dad, who, started from scratch the West Augusta Little League in order to just help the community have a place to develop and be better at baseball. So kind of thrown in the fire in 1994 as 1 year as an assistant, and then head guy from the get-go there, I think was a great learning experience for me. And I think the biggest thing that I pulled from those 3 years was, as much as I've learned from all those coaches, you have to be yourself. You can take what they brought that you think is valuable to hold on to, but you got to be yourself with it. And I think the first year there, I was trying to maybe copy and emulate their personalities too much. And so that was, my big 3 years. I think that's what I took the most. From there, we got married in Augusta, and me and my wife, we wanted to further our education. So we came up and went to graduate school at the University of Georgia. And while we were doing that, I got the head job at Cedar Shoals High School. And at the time, Cedar, I spent 9 years there. I really have had some of the most rewarding coaching experiences through that 9-year period, because a lot of those guys, they didn't have their hitting coaches or pitching coaches. They didn't really even, some of them, play off-season baseball. And but there was so much potential that could be polished. And I think the big thing I took from that was to start as early as possible, getting to know the kids that were potentially coming up and try to develop them and create your own kind of feeder program. And so that really paid off there. We had some great teams and some very, just a lot of fun seeing guys get better. And then in 2008, this job here at Winder-Barrow came open, and it was the best move of my career. This has been the best place. This is my home. The support from the community, whether it be coming out and watching the games, whether it be fundraising, my administration in school, from my counselors to my administrators, getting every baseball kid in our 90-minute strength training class and helping their schedules for success in the academic classes. And then the facilities out here and the room to grow being off campus. My most enjoyable thing is having a place to develop players, and this is the best facility. I couldn't ask for more.
Oh, so it's phenomenal in here. All the cages we just talked about, the live BP and doing those things. And, going back through your coaching journey, it's kind of a theme I've had lately with coaches, not intended, but, there's always so many good people that pour into you. You've been coached by, several Hall of Famers, and I know you take things from them and trying to develop your program. So, and all the things you've taken from them and all your years as a head coach, what is it you want your program here at Winder-Barrow to be known for?
We spend a lot of time talking about just a relentless passion for playing the game as hard as you can all the time. So it's an approach to You know, I say if we have a scout coming to watch and he's watching a player, he should not be able to tell if that guy's 0 for 3 or 3 for 3. Our team should not be any different if we're up 8 or down by 8. And so baseball having 5 phases, the way I look at it, it's very easy to let one phase affect the other. And so the 5 phases that we have is you're a hitter until that ball is hit and it leaves your bat. You got to be the best base runner. Even if you've rolled over and you're unhappy with whatever your hit was, you got to be the best base runner to bust it down the line and do your best in that next phase. If you're out, you're back in the dugout, you're the best teammate, you're the best guy on a chart, you're the best guy finding out if there's somebody's tipping pitches or whatever it is that you can add to the team while you're in the dugout. Once you're done in the dugout, you're going to go out and you're going to be the next phase is defense or pitching. And so every phase is separate. You got to take pride in every phase. And so if you're not hitting good that day, that's usually the one that everybody gets upset about. Yeah. You got to be a defender. You got to be a great base runner. That you can't let one phase bleed into the other. So I would say that our program, if you come to play us, I would hope that most guys feel like you're in for a dog fight, and it's going to be from the first pitch to the last pitch, that same approach of a dog fight.
Well, and, you have to practice those things. I love what you say about, you're a hitter and then you're a base runner. That transition just doesn't happen in your brain unless you talk about it. So, but also telling those kids like, hey, this is what we expect out of you. Right. A lot of times people don't think about that. So right. You covering every last little thing. And I love what you said too, even going back in the dugout, like you may see something that the pitcher's tipping right. And if you can tell your teammates, that might give you another at bat later right. for them to go turn around and use that information. So that's phenomenal stuff. So, in all your years in coaching, I've got to see the pictures up here all around, which is so cool. The guys have been drafted out of here, all the dog fights you've been in. Like what's one of your favorite coaching stories to tell?
I'm going to summarize that and not pick one because there are literally hundreds of great stories that, a player or a team, comes to mind. But to summarize it, our goal in the program is to maximize each player's potential and for each team to maximize its potential. And so going back to my favorite memories are, Brady House and Travis Demeritte make it to the big leagues. They maxed their ceiling, you would think. All right. But there's guys that are maybe throwing 80 miles an hour that learned a backwards pitch. And he maximizes who he is. Maybe they're just not as talented, but they're that puzzle piece player who has really poured their heart in. And that's when the team will maximize itself. So it's great to have 5 guys that throw 90, but it's also very fun, sometimes more rewarding to have guys that are about 81, but they learn how to throw a curve for a strike and a fastball count. Oh, yeah. And so all my stories go back to teams and players who have truly bought in with their heart to maximize who they are relentlessly every pitch. And that's what it's all about to me.
I know a lot of coaches talk about those feel-good stories, the kids that work their tails off, and those are countless, obviously. Not everybody are these guys that are on the wall. Right. And, and a lot of times those guys that do work their tails off, they are the ones that end up coming back to coach and helping out. So, if any of those guys or anybody came to you and said, Coach Smith, I want to be a head coach one day, what advice would you give them?
I will go back to my immediate memory that I still, to this day, I can think like it happened just an hour ago, man. I'll never forget it. Bob Roman, who was a hitting coach at Kennesaw, we're standing around talking about hitting, and I was all into talking mechanics and stuff, and he kind of stopped me and said, that's important, but don't forget, the most important thing is the players don't always care how much you know, as long as they know how much you care. And I truly do believe that is what it's all about, man. The relationships, having players know that you'll do anything for them, whether it's getting on them, or praising them or anything, that they know you got their back. That's when players will play their hardest for you. And that's when players will work their hardest. And then that's when you get that maximizing each guy's potential and the team's potential. So let them know you care and be honest with them.
No, that's phenomenal. And, one of the big things with obviously the advice you talk about here and, just how to, what you want your program to be known for. My goal with these videos, along with the website, is to try to help young coaches, even veteran coaches, try to make their lives a little bit easier. And the website is a part of that as well. And so I'm always trying to hook coaches up with good, trusted vendors. So if there's somebody you've worked with you'd love to shout out for other coaches, who would that be?
Definitely Damon Gobert has been our go-to guy. And I can't say enough about his commitment. Recently had some health issues that he just didn't stop. And he continued to reach out and find out how things were going with us. What do we need? And just a very committed guy. And then the fact that he's a baseball guy that's about my age, we kind of have that same background of knowing some of these people we've talked about and playing against, and we may have played against each other, I'm not sure. But he's just a good person that works his tail off. So Damon from Shuma.
Oh, he's phenomenal. He gets shouted out more than anybody. So if you need anything, definitely get in touch with Mr. Gobert at Shuma. So, well, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day and coming up here, and maybe now you can get out there and play some golf.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Thank you.